Hey, yo! Welcome to the very first episode of Skaterbirds radio podcast. Just a quick disclaimer. The audio and the video is a little bit fuzzy because we were just having some technical difficulties. So me and Roel's voice might be a little bit difficult to distinguish in the beginning, but it does balance out over time. So just bear with us. Next week, it will be a lot better. Thanks for coming. Let's get it. All right, so I guess we're going to get it started. So first, just want to welcome you, Roel, and I want to welcome everybody else here to the very first episode of the Skaterbirds radio podcast. This is something that we're going to be doing weekly, I believe, and it's going to be dope. We're just going to be having guests. We're going to be having conversation topics around the space, different projects, and just Web3 in general, man. We have with us Mr. Roel Weber. Am I pronouncing that right?
It's a terrible name for everybody outside of the Netherlands. I think when my parents named me, they didn't realize that I would someday do a podcast and with a lot of people from outside the Netherlands. So it's really hard for, like I said, everybody outside of the Netherlands. But the easiest thing to remember is if you take the word a rule, as in one ring to rule them all, then you're golden. So if I would pronounce my name, it would be like Roel.
Oh, okay, bet. Mr. Roel Web. Am I at least pronouncing Weber right? Am I got that right?
I think so.
All right, smooth. But yeah, man. So welcome on, man. So it's great to have you. I've been doing a little bit of research on you and what you got going on, man. So one thing that stuck out to me most, and before we get into the details, is you're about to be a future Kendo master. What's up with that, man? What's up with that?
Kendo is a Japanese martial arts, which I've been practicing, I think, for about 12 or 13 years. And it's the art of the sword. So we practice with we got a whole gear setup going on, and got a bamboo sword. So if you just Google Kendo, then you see the outfits that we got. So it's basically playing samurai.
Yeah,
in a competitive fashion.
Yeah, I actually took a look at it, and it looks pretty dope. I don't think it would be something I'm good at. My hand-eye coordination doesn't seem to be look up to par to that. I'd probably die in a real life situation that involved the sword. So I'm very interested to see, like, you got to send me later some. So you got some videos of you doing Kendo?
Yeah. I can show you some stuff. So that's
bet.
That's good. No, actually I needed to do some sport for like to keep in shape and stuff like that. But I always get bored at the gym, so I'm always looking for sports in a competitive fashion. So and the best thing is if somebody's trying to take my head off. That's basically the number one thing I look for in a sport. But this one it's quite safe because you got a whole gear that's protecting you from impact with the bamboo swords. So I took like a class just to check it out, and it stuck with me. So that's basically it.
Word. Okay, so you look for the thrill without the fatality. I get you.
Yeah.
I get you. Word. So Roel, so tell us a little bit. So you got a project going on here called Kaiju Legends. Tell us a little bit about that. Like, how did you get into this position as a founder of Kaiju Legends? What's it about?
Yeah, we started thinking about like an NFT project. I think at the end of last year. Um, that project ultimately became Kaiju Legends, which is like a combination where we merge art and story and toys and gaming together. My background is game development. And I have known the artist working on Kaiju Legends for a long time because we worked together on projects for Disney and the BBC and stuff like that. So I knew him for quite a long time, and the company I worked for was doing a lot of development in the Web3 space already. So, but that was always for somebody else. So there was never a project for ourselves. And like one day we thought about, okay, we got this art from an established artist, which was, in our opinion, unique to the space. And the idea was to merge it with gaming. The artist is actually a real life toy designer. So we were thinking about, okay, can we set up a project where we can combine the technology of Web3 and NFTs with toys, like physical toys, and online gaming. So basically, we just were like setting up a team and thinking about, okay, what do we need for a successful project? And it was like, okay, we got the artist, we got a development studio, we got context, we added a lot of Web3 marketing people because the Web2 space, if I can call it that, where I come from originally, is really different than Web3. So I wasn't so arrogant to think, oh, this is basically the same and blah blah blah. So we needed some people that were helping us. So we just assembled a team and got like the good marketing people for our project, good Discord people, and then basically started the whole project.
Yo, that's actually really fire. I never heard of like so you guys already got it mapped out as far as like having a Web2 utility as far as like real life toys and I believe like exploring like the metaverse and stuff like that, right?
Yeah. I mean, the one of the trap doors that you can fall into is wanting to do too much at the same time. So we just focused on the NFT and to bring out the message that we thought we made us like a unique project, and also have like a little tip to show like a little tip on what's to come in the after the launch. So yeah, we got like big plans, but we also want to have like realistic goals. So it's not like I can say, oh yeah, there's coming like a PlayStation 5 game with Unity game engine, blah blah blah. It's gonna be great. So we just want to have like realistic expectations of the team that we can provide. So, but yeah, our goals are big.
Yeah, I think that's it's good that you mentioned like it's good not to put everything on the table. I feel like with some projects, like I'm not too I haven't started my own project yet, but I know that like overpromising is definitely an issue, and I feel like sometimes in the space, and then your community members like make pretty much your project like determine the success, and it's like it's good to start small and just fulfill it and just check out those checklists, and that's what makes me confident as a consumer. So it's really dope to just hear that you guys are focusing on that. Definitely the first project ever that I heard about toys, like in real life. So that's fire, bro. Like, were you guys so when you guys went into like that idea, did you guys think about like, okay, like this is something where like, you know, because children, like people under the age of 18 in general, are like all over the internet now, definitely heavily invested in Web3 with their mama's money, their daddy's money, like everybody, like definitely super invested in it. Do you was that something that you guys were thinking about as far as like a crowd to like connect with just like younger people as far as like the toys came through?
Yeah, like I said, our artist is like his day job is literally a toy designer. So everything that guy touches can potentially be turned into toys or something like that. And we like the crossover between those realms. So if you, for example, buy a toy, but that toy gives you like certain abilities or extra stuff in like an online game, then you have like the crossover between the online game and the toy, and the NFT would bring also perks to the game. So basically, we try to connect it as much as possible.
Okay, cool. When was like your first time like well actually better yet, like specifically like how was your web 2 journey that like kind of led you into the space? How what was that like for you? Like you don't gotta break the whole journey down, but like what was it like, you know, like for you to like how did you end up in web 3?
In Web3, like I said, I'm basically a Web2 guy transitioning into Web3, and it wasn't that really big of a stretch because I've always been into crypto itself. So those that stuff wasn't like very foreign to me. And for NFTs, I was like looking at the market from the outside and learning and buying stuff and collecting stuff. But yeah, so if you look at the where we came from as a team, we basically are game designers at our core. So we build games for, like I said, it's basically marketing games and social games for brands and that want to connect with their audience. And that was also like the fact that when we looked at our own project and we said, okay, what, how does our project stand out? And you can stand out basically on a lot of stuff. Particularly, you can say, okay, our art is better, or our community is better, or we just make people laugh. But we thought, okay, since we are game designers, let's design like a small mini game, which is like connected to the whole allow list process, and have people see what we're capable of. Because a lot of projects say, "Oh yeah, we're gonna do something with gaming," or "Yeah, we have like plans for stuff like that." But if you don't have like a correct team set up already, or you can buy the team, but let's say that's really expensive. But if you don't have the team set up already, you're not gonna get a good game. So basically, that's why we developed like the mini game for the allow list of our project.
Yeah, I was actually taking a look at that game, and I need you to tell me what's up with that game, man. Because you got to tell me, bro, what is the fart game, man? What is that, bro? Because I was looking into getting into it, and I was like, man, I don't know what I'm about to get into. What is that, man?
Yeah, the fart game is a mini game we developed so that people can see that we are proper game developers, and we made like a small game just as a laugh, but also as with a clear purpose for people to be a little bit more connected with the whole allow list process. So we wanted players to have like a bit of more time with our brand. So we basically forced them to play the fart game, and the fart game is a couple of years back, but there was like a really popular game called Flappy Birds, and when that was really easy to control but hard to master. So you need to tap and make the bird fly, and you have to push yourself through certain goals. The game was stupid, but it was also very addictive. So we thought, okay, let's make a rebrand of that game. But our kaiju doesn't have wings, so he can't fly. How do we get him to fly? And basically somebody said, okay, we can just make him fart. Every time he farts, he like jumps a little bit up in the air, and you just keep farting. I mean, you can play the game. It's fartgame.kaijulegends.io. So it's and a lot of we integrated a lot of partnerships into the game, and they had fun with it as well. So it has been really good for us, the game.
Word, that sounds dope. I checked it out on mobile. It actually looks pretty clean on mobile, like really good. That's when I was like, oh damn, they got it. Like, yeah, it looks really good on mobile. First thing I thought about when I like saw it was definitely like I got a little bit worried about your IRL events, because I was like, oh no, I hope they're not in there just blowing gas. Like, is this what they're about? but yeah, it looks like super clean, man. It looks really super clean.
Yeah, it's sometimes people ask me how long did we build like the game, and I think the basic like function of the game was like a week or something, but to make it like play very smooth and tune it, it took another 2 weeks. So the game took a little bit more time than we anticipated, but we wanted it to play good. So yeah, sometimes you just need to see it through and say, okay, this will take a little bit more time, but yeah, then it will be a lot better.
Yeah, I don't know anything about game development, but does it generally take like a long time to like make even like 2D games? Or
yeah, it also all depends on it's always longer than you want. So that's basically rule number one. But yeah, I mean, AAA games that you play on your PC or Xbox or PlayStation, they can take easily up to a couple of years to create, with like a team of 100 people plus. But if you look at like smaller games, then you only need like 4 or 5 people, or maybe just one in certain cases. But depending on the complexity of the game, it can take up to a couple of weeks to build like even the smallest game. And if you count in stuff like Q&A, so testing and quality assurance, filtering out bugs and stuff like that, adding security, because if you have like a high score system where you can win stuff, and people hack your high score, that's also stuff that you don't want. So it can blow up time-wise real soon if you want like a certain level of quality to it.
Yeah, security seems like the most stressful part about it. When it comes to, because it's one thing like being responsible for like just like creating a good game, and then just like when it comes to security, now you're just dealing with like other people's money, other people's like privacy, and it's just like I can imagine that shit is stressful as hell.
Yeah, and it will take longer. If you look at the stuff that we have planned out is basically after the launch on the 15th of August, we're basically straight up back to development on the 4-player multiplayer battle game that we're working on at the moment. But we do want to have like our own Kaiju coin as a virtual currency for the whole ecosystem. So as soon as you add like a currency to a game, and even if it's like only a virtual currency, people are gonna try and hack the shit out of your game. So the security is always an issue, especially if you have like a currency or real life money that you are playing with.
Yeah, I saw you guys had an ecosystem. You guys were maybe like planning an ecosystem for your game, or like a metaverse ecosystem or something like that. So
we want to have our own currency, which is very uninspired Kaiju coin. But we need to like every we would like a game where you can like play and earn. So if the more you play or the better you play or both, you can earn like Kaiju coin, and with Kaiju coin you can buy stuff in the game as well for probably stuff like new outfits or new look or something like that. Definitely not have like an advantage in the gameplay area, because that's also rule number one. If you want to fuck up your community, give people that are paying for stuff a clear advantage on people that don't pay. And everybody was like, oh, damn, this is not the game that we want to play. So we want to have like paying players or players that are just starting out. They have like the same advantage in the game itself. But everything like costumes and outfits and stuff like that, those are stuff that you can buy. And like I said, our idea is, for example, if you buy like a toy in a toy shop, that too will come with certain perks in the game, or you have like a different avatar or stuff like that. So that's basically the crossover between all those areas, and the virtual currency helps us with those crossovers.
Word, that's hella stuff, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I feel like, to me, like, is, I'm already like, me as just a consumer trying to transition during this downtime into like potentially trying to go into even making project. Like, to me, it feels like I haven't even like fully started yet, and I'm just thinking like, damn, this is big brain as hell. Like, this takes time. You gotta, like, big words scare the hell out of me, like contract, consumer, developer, all that shit scares me. So I'm just like, damn. But to me, like, when it comes to games, bro, that scares me even further. But I also am just like blown away by like what people are able to come up with and everything like that. Actually, so I wanted to ask you, like, so in this past 5 months, like, the market's been like pretty, super dead, like volatile, crazy, like everything. Do you feel like in downtime like this, where people are just like, okay, you know what, I'm taking a break from the space, I'm taking a break from like grinding on servers, NFTs, whatever, I'm gonna go do some other shit. Like, do you feel like it's easier to build when the community isn't so active? Like, do you feel like the building experience is during this specific time now? Because you guys started about like 5 months ago, right? You said?
Yeah, we started in February this year, actively on Twitter and stuff like that, and like growing the community and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, it's like it was easier in last year because that was basically a time where if you had like a project, you would mint out 100%. Without doing any effort or having a a clear goal or something like that. So it wasn't really difficult for projects to sell out because everybody was like buying, and there were like a lot of projects that, in my opinion, didn't deserve to sell out, but still did because of the market. And I think
Oh yeah, I agree.
the whole the NFT community is a bit more savvy on looking at projects and saying, okay, is this like a project that will bring value one way or another, or make me laugh or stuff like that. So I think they're being more critical on where they want to invest their money and time in, and ultimately that's a good idea. Did it make it harder for us? Yeah, it did. But like I said, we were confident that our art was standing out, that the proposition that we had with gaming and toys was unique enough to basically get attention from the market, and ultimately we did get that attention. So, but it was like a bit harder. But I think in all these, when something starts out and it's like really new, there's like a lot of hype, and a lot of people are like investing too much into projects that weren't really good in the first place. But due to the hype, they still get their investment. And you see this in at the start of Web 2 as well, where projects will get like millions of dollars in funding, where everybody was like, why the hell is anybody investing in this shit? But they still did because it was the hype. And then just like the whole internet bubble burst at the beginning of the internet, where everybody was like, oh, this is so great, and then it burst, and then companies like Amazon and Netflix started to rise after that. So you see all these waves, which is quite normal, but for a lot of people in the Web3 space, this is like new and scary. But it's if you're from the Web2 space, it's like, yeah, this is probably a good thing in the end. But like, yeah, if you lost like a lot of money on crypto or investing in stuff, yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, for me, like that's actually a big reason why I kind of stepped out of crypto, because I thought I was the crypto master. I happened to invest in Dogecoin at the perfect moment. I put a good amount of money in, and it turned to like maybe 30K or something like that. And then to like how projects will like start and be like, yo, we don't got no roadmap, we don't got shit, we're not promising you nothing. It is what it is. And then they just make something with like doodle ass art. Like, don't get me wrong, they're making bread, I respect it, but like they're making art that's like kind of whatever, and they're selling out, man. They're selling out. They're getting numbers on secondary. And the same thing with crypto. It's just like, yo, the culture is like a wave culture. You know, I don't know why I'm buying into like certain cryptos. I don't know why, like what it can provide for me right now, but I know it's a wave, and I know like I can potentially make money on it. And I feel like that's how it is with some projects with no roadmap and like art, and just no roadmap, no plans for the future, everything. They kind of are very similar to a cryptocurrency almost, that is just like a regular crypto that's just like, here we are, like we have these plans potentially for the future, invest in it. And when the crypto world is like just on its baby steps of getting evolved, people are like dumping bread into it. You know, you can make a lot of money, but it's like you don't know where you're gonna go.
Yeah, I mean, and don't get me wrong. I mean, if you're looking at a project and you like the art, and it's like from a single artist, it's fine to buy into the art. I mean, not every project has to have like a lot of utility. If you like the art and you want to support the artist, I think NFTs are like a great way to do stuff like that. But if you're actively into the NFTs for like financial purposes, that's fine as well. And then you have to look on okay, is this project going somewhere? And maybe if it's going somewhere, is it like based on luck, or it isn't going somewhere? Then a roadmap, or like and like a dog's team, and those are like pretty important stuff. And that's what they asked me, are we in the beginning, and they said, are we going like, are we dogs or not? And I was like, of course we are. I mean, I people it's fine that they know who I am, because I treat like our community members. I basically see them as like mini shareholders of the project. So I want them to do better, and I want them to have like more value as it goes on. So that's basically my number one job, is to get all my mini shareholders value.
Yeah, word. I totally agree. That's a great way to look at it from a consumer perspective. I think that's like really important, like as a team member, to like when you're like dishing out a project to somebody, is like to look at it from a consumer perspective and see like, okay, like would I buy this? Like how, like why would I hold on to this? Like, why would I be investing into it? And that's a great thing to think about as like your community, as like, you know, investors, because that's really what we are. It doesn't feel like it because NFTs kind of have this like fun undertone to it, you know, where it's like, oh, it's a picture of something cute. So people don't really like it's easy to approach the NFT space in like a non-investing mindset, you know, because shit is so fun, shit is so like, you know, shit gets hyped. And yeah. Speaking of that, so besides I would say gaming, like, right? What's your favorite type of like NFT project? Like, what's something that like you really gravitate towards, like when you are like looking to buy into something or something like that?
That's a good question. It's very diverse for me, because I like projects obviously that are from like the gaming space. So if you look at a project called Ninetales, they are developing a card battling game, and since I also play those games, I was like, oh, this is like interesting, and they have like a really good team, which I liked. So I did some research. I was like, okay, this is like a good team. They got good financial backing. Let's invest in their project. But sometimes, like if a project makes me laugh, like you said, it's like if I see the art and it makes me laugh, then sometimes that's enough for me as well. It's not like I'm like investing my whole net worth in something that makes me laugh, but it's that's also enough. So it's really diverse for me. So some projects I think are interested in basically the team that they represent, or the type of game that they are building, and sometimes it's enough to make me laugh.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Something that just for me personally, and I agree. That's definitely how I look into it, because that's why I got my PFP right now. I got a lemon across every platform because it's just a lemon with shades, and I think it's stupid. Yeah, man, I totally agree with you. That I feel like what people really like and I think appreciate about the space is that lightheartedness around their investing, the way they put their money into things. Like, because you know, when you're investing into something, like it's kind of stressful. And I think like when something's lighthearted and dumb and like funny, but also like supported by like a good team, it helps take the edge off of just like this stress that you get from like, oh man, I just put this money in. I don't know where it's going to go. I don't know if it's going to go down or go up. Like, it definitely takes a lot of the stress off it. It makes it a little bit easier to swallow that, hey, you just bought this thing that's like a squirrel or whatever. And that's what I really like about your project too, because yo, when I saw the fart game, I'm like, yo, all right, these guys is cool. Like they cool, bro. Like because they just they're like lighthearted. I'm like, and I dig that for real. And I think a lot of people in the community would appreciate that for sure. So, how do you feel about where we currently are? Do you feel like the bear market is over? Because, like, during this whole free mint meta, man, this free mint meta is like wild, and people are coming out with the most hilarious, hilarious projects, bro. Like that's why I feel like
those projects are if you are like in a shitty situation, but you can still laugh about it. Like the first step of getting out of that situation. And I think a lot of the free mint projects, which basically started with Goblin Town, they have that vibe to it, and you see like a lot of copycats of that vibe, but yeah, it's fine. I mean, they have a place in the whole space, and I know that a couple of we get like asked a lot if we are like a free mint, and I always explain to people the roadmap that we want to go on, and that we have like we need like a proper runway, and so we can be a free mint. But yeah, if I mean if you want to have like a free mint project, basically you're a bit more humbly than if you aren't like a free mint project, or you have like already get like funding from another perspective or something like that. But it's definitely an interesting take on the whole situation.
Yeah, man, it's nuts. I'm just like, I'm over it all right now. It's a little bit more hard to read and stressful for everybody, I feel like, but it is a bunch of fun too for other people. So, do you mind going into detail about like a bit of the partnerships you guys have with Kaiju Legends?
Like, it's we got a lot of partnerships, so that's basically one of the ways that we organically grew our whole platform. So it's a lot to name them all, and I don't want to piss off one if I'm forgetting something, but.
Talk about the coolest people. It's like that. Talk about.
Yeah, for sure. We got like projects that we vibed better with than others. But I liked everyone basically that we ultimately worked with. But if we, I think one of the earliest partnerships that we did, which was like a big one, was like the Gutter Cat community, and that was basically a community event that they did with just one guy. Shout out to Fleets, that said, "Oh, I like this art. You guys need to have like a bigger platform. I'm gonna add you to the Gutter Cat community Discord stuff." So that was basically our first bump that we got. And if you got a couple of like good collaborations, then you get like other collaborations that are like a little bit better, and then you get a little bit better. And we are now like at a position that we have like projects like Doodles and Phantom Network asking for collaboration, and we're like, yo, this is nuts.
Yeah, man. So do you think like stacking these, like, well, it's kind of like almost climbing up a ladder? Like, do you feel like stacking these, like, decent to good partnerships like helped you guys, like the rap sheet, like, okay, boom, like we're coming to you, Doodles, or we're coming to you, so and so, like high tier project, like we have so many other good collaborations, and they're like, oh yeah. Like, did you think like just stacking them, is that basically what you're saying? Like stacking them up definitely helps you to reach even like higher tier projects?
Yeah, I think that's the only way if you want to grow the community organically. You could like invest like a lot of money in marketing, but I
Mm.
don't think like run ads or something like that. But I don't think that's the right way to build an audience in the Web3 space,
Mm.
because the whole space is so community focused, and that's basically what you're building. So if you're just buying your community with ads, they aren't like people that are like fans of your brand from the get go. So we still have people that are like with us from 5 months ago, that say, okay, we started like following you 5 months ago. Can't wait for the mint now, and that's cool. I mean, those are like real supporters of the brand, and in your community. And I think so. That's basically stacking the partnerships, getting the word out. That's basic. And if you have like a couple of good partnerships, then another more will follow, and then you keep stacking them and getting to the more known collaborations.
Word. And speaking of one of them, so I was in your Discord doing a little bit of research. So you guys are launching or like have a collaboration with crypto.com? Like what?
Yeah, yeah, that was really cool as well. We were approached by crypto.com, and we liked what they brought to the table. So they said, okay, can we do like a whole crypto.com project? And we were like, no, we already got like people on our allow list. And we didn't want to, like I said, I consider all those people like mini shareholders. So I didn't want to say, okay, it's a crypto.com project now, good luck and see ya. And we said, okay, let's have like a private sale for our allow list community, and then for a certain amount, and then the other amount goes to crypto.com. That's basically how the whole sale is structured.
Okay, cool. So that's dope. Do they have a like a part in the what's it called? Like the ecosystem for like your P2E?
Oh yeah, they have like a couple of crypto.com projects that we want to integrate as well. So
Okay.
if you're thinking about like Loaded Lions is one of their big ones, and Alpha Bot, Bali's and stuff like that. So we have like we collaborated with them as well, and we would like to integrate them into the battle game too.
Oh, yo, that's dope. I think, yo, this is a shitload of information. I think you really inspired me with just talking about building up like this rap sheet of collaborations first. And like before you reach out to bigger ones, I think that is definitely inspiring and like
I mean, I
inspiring.
mean, if I'm honest, bigger ones will ignore you if you don't have like street cred, and
Right.
the whole space is a bit selfish that way,
Mm-hmm.
and we and I'm seeing that we are the same as well. So I'm not really
Mm-hmm.
judging too hard, because our marketing guy is like really rough, and he says, no, if we have like collaborations like Loaded Lions and stuff like that, we can't have like smaller collaborations. So you need
Right.
to work up and work up and work up, and that's pretty selfish.
Yeah.
But that's basically how the game is played at the moment.
Yeah,
So
I think like the whole consumer perspective of it too is that like, yo, it were just partnered with like this big people, and why do they have to partner with this small like group? Are they struggling? Like for me as a consumer, bro, like that's how I look at things sometimes. And I think when you're as a team and like you're you got to be very careful, and I understand where that selfishness comes from. But also as a smaller project, I work with a few people, and I got to remind the team, like, hey guys, look, bro, like, we were the same way, and now that we're Postman, we're a little bit smaller. Like, they're not trying to slower the momentum that they have. It's not personal, but sometimes people can get in this like, yo, like, fuck you attitude, like, just whatever. But and as long as people can just like see that from the team perspective, it makes sense. It feels like an asshole thing, but it's not really. It's just like, we want to make sure this thing succeeds, and I totally get that.
Yeah, Guttercat is like a really good example because Guttercat as a brand, they were like sponsoring NBA players and stuff like that. I think they got a whole team now with Guttercat branding on it. So they have like collaborations with. They were so big in the Web3 space, they were like branching out in the normal world, so to speak. So they had like collaborations with Nike or Adidas, and one of those two. And I as a brand guy, I understand that you can't team up with the NBA and then say, oh yeah, we just teamed up with this new and upcoming NFT project, because they are at a much higher level playing that game than we were at the time. But like I said, there were like a little stuff around it. So they organized a community event, and then everything was fine, and it helped us a great deal. So and we had like more of those like bigger projects that said, okay, we won't share you on Twitter, which was fucked up for that we thought, but we can do this for you. And I'm like, okay, let's take it. And now that we are like in a similar position as they were, I understand a little bit better their point of view.
Yeah, I think teams just need to be honest with just who they're working with, because it's like, we know how numbers goes. Like, as people who work on teams, we know how numbers goes. Like if it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna pass because so and so. Like, you ever just like try and work out with somebody, and it's like, yeah, we're gonna pass because we might be towards the end of our allocation, and they're like freshly starting their allocations and shit. But like, be honest, like, we all know how like numbers work, man. Like, we all know it's like, yeah, we might affect this and that. Don't take it personal, yada yada, boom. I feel like this space is like, can be very it might be a fat ego boost towards some people, like pre-mint people. Yeah, so it's I feel like we just need a little bit more of that, like, honesty, and like, because people might end up not selling out, and they're gonna come back to you when they denied you, like, hey man, you would work something out. It was like, bro, I see all the time. It's crazy. How do you feel about like so now that we're coming out of this, like, well, I'm all right. Hold on, because whenever I say this shit, something bad happens. So I'm gonna just not say it, but I don't like definitively saying that we're out of something, because I feel like shit just goes the opposite way. So whatever. We're seeing more life in this space right now because ETH's going up a little bit. Everybody's people popping their heads back out, and you're starting to see more projects actually put a mint price on their thing. They're starting low. How do you feel about like the future of like 10K projects? I see you guys have a 777 collection, right? So
yeah,
how do you feel like about the future, like here going forward? Like, how do you feel about the future of 10K projects? Do you feel like they're going to come back around? Do you feel like they're going to succeed? Like, what do you feel about that?
I think I'm just looking at it the same way as you are. I mean, I don't want to jinx it, but I see like a lot of positive, a lot of more positivity from the community than it was like 2 or 3 months ago. And if you, a lot of that sentiment has to do with ETH going up, because that's basically the better the crypto market is doing, I think the better the NFT market is doing. So they are connected in a certain way. So the market conditions are like improving, and I think that the whole 10K collection, I think it's if you want to have like an exclusive collection, then 10K is like a bit much. I just saw another project that did like 10K collection, and they started with this is very exclusive, and I was thinking to myself, yeah, it's 10K, so it's not really that exclusive.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's marketing speak. But I think the that sort of collections will come back again. But I think it's the maximum that you can have like for a collection before people are saying, okay, this is like too much, and you're now basically too greedy.
I really wonder where this shit is go. I think we could see a comeback, but it won't be for some time. I feel like people right now are just mad scared to just put their money into some shit, even if it's fire, bro. We've been seeing fire shit just die. Like, um, so yeah, but I'm actually really hyped that you guys have the seven. People, first of all, people love that number. I don't know why. 333 777. People love that. So I'm hyped. Really hyped for like what you guys got going on. Like I'm definitely going to be an investor in it, as we put it. Like I'm definitely going to try and cop me a Kaiju Legends.
Right.
Do you guys feel like you guys are going to have IRL events or something like that? Do you guys like playing that? Like,
Yeah, our artist can't wait.
okay, lit.
Yeah, because he saw like the Karafuru festivals that they were setting up in Indonesia, and he was like, "Yeah, bro, we
What?
need stuff like that." And I was like, "Okay, let's do it like step at a time."
Yeah.
But it's hard to contain enthusiasm. We had like two inquiries from two animation studios that said, "Yo, we need to give you like a Kaiju Legends animation series." And I was like, "What? We haven't really started yet, but there's like a lot of hype, and it's in our best interest to steer as straight as possible, and not going too wide with all the stuff that we want to do. But yeah, like I said, we're focusing on the launch now on the 15th, and after that we'll see about the rest of the stuff. But yeah, it's real life events are definitely some stuff that we're looking into, but that's also like look the downside of real life events, that it's in real life. So
Yeah.
you
Takes a little bit more effort.
it takes a lot of effort, and if you pick like for example Amsterdam in the Netherlands would be like really easy for us, but for people that are coming from the Asia or the US, that's like a bit harder to reach. So if you're really big, then you have like multiple events, or you have to be maybe piggybacking on another event or something like that. But it's always fun to speak like people in real life. So it's definitely
Yeah.
something that we're looking into.
Yeah, I think that I'm really hyped to hear that you guys have that those plans, because I had a really positive experience going to NFT NYC this past last month, and I'm telling you, man, like it's just something about in general, like people feel like this whole like Web3 needs to stay Web3. I totally disagree. I don't think it does. I feel like putting a face to somebody that you talk to online makes shit so much easier, so much better, makes the relationships better. Especially when you like meet them in person, and then you're just like, all right, yo, like let's set up a collaboration and like for this or that in the future, and they genuinely know, oh man, I can really vibe with this person. They're a good dude. It totally helps with your networking, your like, just marketing, whatever. Like I met some really good people in New York last month that had amazing ideas, amazing projects, and I don't think I would have been able to like get those relationships or those like establish those relationships if it was just over the internet. So I'm really hyped to see that and definitely your community too likes to put a face to the the founders and the team and stuff like that. So I definitely really hyped to hear about that you guys have that as well. Um, but yeah, man. So you guys, did you guys drop your mint info yet?
Sorry?
Like like price and stuff?
Yeah. The min price for our allow list community, so the private sale, will be at 0.15 ETH.
Okay, that sounds good. That sounds good. That's not. I think with what you guys have going on, partnerships and everything, I think that's going to be a really successful like number. The project looks great. The art looks strong. Do you guys feel like a little bit like? Did you guys feel hesitant like choosing that price during like a time like this, or do you guys feel like what, like we have what we need, we can do this, we will do this, and also this is like kind of what we need with for like building the project as a whole? Because to make a game, man, it's hard to make a game. I feel like, and from what I've heard from teams, it's hard to make a game at a really cheap mint price. You know what I'm saying? Like it's damn near impossible from what I've been hearing. But how do you feel like that was the like you guys went into like choosing that number as confidence? Because I definitely think the project is worth that, and this looks amazing.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, basically, it's with the whole roadmap in mind. I mean, we could have even go for like a free mint, but then we couldn't like deliver on the rest of the roadmap unless you are like very lucky in the secondary markets. Like you said, a development team costs quite a bit of money, and you need like I think half a year minimum for development of a good online game. So that was basically a simple math calculation on how much of a roadmap that we would need for it to work. The upside is we got the team already, and because they're already working on it. So all those plans will come eventually anyway. But if we like mint out, then it will 100% be guaranteed that it will be there as soon as possible.
Okay. Yeah, I'm suit, man. I feel like you guys have this like, the way you speak about everything that you're saying so far just seems so planned out and like orchestrated well that like I feel like everybody that's going to be listening to this and is listening to it now like should definitely have a bunch of confidence in what you guys going on. Gutter Cats, crypto like .com, bro. Like people don't mac with those two, and then if they don't got something going on. So I'm really excited to just hear that you guys have this like coming up. I'm excited about the IRL stuff. As long as you guys won't be farting there, I'm good. Like pull up, say what's up to y'all. But yeah, man, I'm excited, and I'm really glad to have you on today, man. For real, it was really nice talking to you, Roel. For real.
Yeah, nice to be here.
Yeah. So I think what we're gonna do is probably gonna just wrap this up. Is there anything else that you could just like spit to our like just the people that may be interested into the project, just about like just a little bit more like details or just like closing details that you'd like people to know about the project?
Well, I think we covered it quite extensively already. So that's basically for if people want to like know more about the project. We got a very extensive website and Medium article. The Medium article is fun, by the way. It took a bit longer to set up, but it did help us like a great deal because it basically sets up the whole project of Kaiju Legends, including most of the key team members in it. So definitely go read the Medium article, which is on our link tree in the Twitter. account if you're interested. And yeah, that's basically it. Launch is August 15th. And we're quite happy to take the whole project to the finish line on
man. Yeah, it looks dope. I'm excited, and I'm definitely gonna be looking out August 15th. That's like 2 weeks away, man. It's not far at all. That's that. This is right around the corner, and I'm soup. So, everybody, make sure you follow Weber on Twitter, Weber at Weber SG on Twitter, and make sure you guys give Kaiju Legends follow too at Kaiju Legends NFT on Twitter. We're gonna just wrap this up. Thank you so much, Roel, for coming, man. I appreciate you just chopping it up with me. I'm gonna DM you right now because I need you to send me them Kendo videos, and we're just gonna chop it up. I'm gonna share it. I'm gonna share it, and I'm man. It was so great talking to you, man. I love your vibe. You're a cool dude, and yeah, man. Hopefully we can talk again in the future. And yeah, man. Thanks for coming on the Skaterbirds Radio podcast. This is the first ever one, man. Yeah, believe it or not, I host Twitter Spaces and weekly for like a couple projects, and this is my first time hosting a podcast. So I'm just like, man, like I'm over here nervous. I'm sweating. I'm like, man, I don't know how I'm gonna do this shit. Like, I don't know, because I've never really hosted a podcast. It's like kind of similar, but to Twitter Spaces, but it's like just a real conversation. But yeah, man, thank you for coming to Skaterbirds Radio episode 1, man. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you for having us. I had a great time. So I think it turned out great.
Yeah, man. All right, so yeah, we'll hit you up in the DM. Thank you, everybody, for pulling up, and we are going to close it out. Peace, y'all.
Okay, bye-bye.